This is a continuation of the series I've been working on with respect to what the co-founder of Flutterwave, Iyinoluwa Aboyeji, commented.
The generation of people who built Nigeria has passed away. What you have now are influencers. So people are trained to perform, not to build.
Yeah.
And you see it seeping into companies, right? Where people want to perform building a company.
My question is, why some countries are busy building their future, some are debating about their future. See, whatever situation we find ourselves today, we are not the first that is going to find ourselves in that situation. But the question is, what is the right thing for us to do? What do we need to do? There was a time South Korea was poorer than a lot of countries in Africa. There was a time China was regarded as a country that produced cheap products. There was a time that Estonia, they regained their independence in 1991. Likewise, India, there was a time that India was battling with being the poorest country in the world. But the question is, what changed? The question is, what happened? Did they go to work or they start debating? Did they have a new people or they took a different direction? See, my observation is this. I've realized that whenever a country finds themselves in hardship, a lot of the citizens, they either fall into these two categories. Some keep complaining, some keep debating, some keep commenting, while some channels their energy in solution. See, the fact remains that it's not only the government responsibility, and your commenting is not the solution. What did South Korea do? What happened in South Korea? South Koreans, they decide to reform their country because it's common. When countries find themselves in this situation, you see some countries that they decide to reform their country within a century. Why some? They will keep debating for 50 years. They will still be talking about it without no action. So South Korea, what did they do? Instead of them producing graduates, what did they do? They produced manufacturers. Okay? Instead of them just producing graduates, they combine industries, skills into their curriculum. That is why South Korea was able to build what they built today. They never decided to build individually. Whereas in Nigeria, we build individualistic. The same thing, China applied the same method. Okay? Skilling and upskilling their citizens. And that is what transformed China into what it is today. It's not because they have graduates. India did a wonderful thing. They are very good with softwares. What did they do? They create an ecosystem around the software. That is how they created the institution they are benefiting from today. Estonia, what is the unique thing Estonia did? Estonia decided to turn their technology into an interface. Okay, instead of it being fragmented, okay, they make it a situation whereby business people, government, citizens can have communication from the same ecosystem. What is that unique thing you found from this country? Let me share with you. The unique thing is this country understand that before their country can become productive, okay, before their country can become whatever they want it to become, they need to create an institution. They need to create an industry. And this takes me to the silent intelligence in this conversation. Most of these countries, they build systems, okay? And because they build systems, they create extraordinary outcomes. A lot of people believe that this country are who they are today because they have money. No, they are who they are today because of what I said earlier. They created a productive system. For example, they created factories. Factories create exports, okay? Export brings in foreign exchange. Foreign exchange enhance national income. Because national income is increased, okay, due to foreign exchange, strong institutions attract investments. Okay, strong institutions attract investments, and this investment creates jobs. Jobs create spending. All this spending is what build businesses. Okay, there are things that grows businesses. And what happened? Businesses pay tax. When businesses pay tax, what does government do with the tax? They use the tax to create infrastructure. Oh my goodness! When they use this tax to create infrastructure, these infrastructures attract more investors. That is the intelligence in this conversation. But one thing I've observed with us in Africa is what I will discuss in my business intelligence session. What is the business intelligence in this conversation? See, many entrepreneurs in Africa, in Nigeria, they rely so much on producing products or selling products. But the fact remains that great entrepreneurs create business. They create businesses, okay? but exceptional entrepreneurs, they create institutions. Businesses don't make nations. Industries build nations. Why? Because institution creates industries. So you will realize that the productive system, for what I've explained, created a compounding system. Okay? A lot of countries like Nigeria, they import prosperity, but these countries, they export prosperity. And that takes us to our business intelligence in this conversation. See, Nigeria will not become great. Africa will not become great if businesses only produce products or sell products. Okay? Great entrepreneurs, they are businessmen, but exceptional entrepreneurs, they produce industries. And if you look at all these countries that I've made mention of, you will see that they have industries. South Korea has Samsung. China, okay, they have Alibaba and Huawei. India, they have Tata. But one thing you need to pay attention to with respect to this, which is the business intelligence in this conversation, is all these institutions, they have systems. They create systems. Okay? They create systems. Do you know why? Businesses only create revenue, but institutions, they create industries. Look at the number of products that is in Tata. That's different systems. Look at the number of products that is in Samsung. That is different systems. Look at the number of products that is in Alibaba. That is how they export prosperity. It's not by debating. China did not become who they are today because they created the highest number of influencers. India did not become who they are today because they created the highest number of commentators. It is because they create the highest number of institutions. That is why you see me do videos with respect to people like Aliko Dangote, like Boa. Okay? Because these are the guys that are creating industries, and that is the only way we can move forward. Because until we start exporting prosperity, my dear friends and brothers, our efforts will remain the way it is. And what attracts investors more is efforts, because there is exported prosperity. That will take me to my second intelligence, which is financial intelligence. See, high net worth individuals who is listening to me, they understand this. High net worth people, diaspora investors, all these big time high net worth investors, they don't invest in isolated products. Let me repeat myself. High net worth people, investors in diaspora, big investors, foreign investors, they don't invest in isolated products. They invest in coordinated, organized, multi-dimensional product, which is systems. I made a video with respect to one of the reasons why Femi Otedola sold his stakes in Geregu and went to invest in Dangote Refinery is because it is a system. You can't compare the number of products that is in Geregu compared to the number of products in Aliko Dangote Refinery. I have done the video. Go and check that video. Okay? So, the question we need to ask ourselves is, if high net worth individuals, they are not ready to invest in our country because we only have products, okay? We don't have systems. How do we attract funds that we can use as value addition to our cocoa? So, the call to action is, this is not just the government responsibility. I want us to start thinking in institution creation, in industry creation. Enough of business regime. Look at United States of America. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Elon Musk. Look at Bill Gates. These guys are already institutions. They are institutional creators. Why won't America be one of the richest countries in the world? That is the level. That is what we need to drive at. It's not debating. It's not commenting. So many countries have changed their life under 1 century. We are still 50 years. We are still debating. We are still commenting. As you all know, I'm a real estate consultant and developer. What is the real estate intelligence in this? High net worth individuals. They don't just invest in assets of land. They invest in ecosystem. These are things why I said click in the link in my bio. If you have interest in investing in Africa and you want to invest right, you want to build wealth through real estate in Nigeria, in Africa, go to my bio, join the Redoc Investment Diagnosis. I made a statement. I said, see, high net worth individuals, they don't just invest in assets based on land. They invest in ecosystem. The Redoc Diagnosis session will explain further to you. It will give a clarity with respect to that. Okay? Businesses don't change nation. Institutions change nation by increasing the foreign exchange of that nation. And the fact remains that we people build institutions. We are the one, me and you that is watching, we are the one that will build the institution. And do you know one great thing with institutions? Institutions don't just change markets, it change the culture of the people. It change the trajectory of the nation. I believe you've learned something. If you've learned something, why not share this video? Comment on this video, okay? See, You hear from me again. My name remains Bash of Redoc. Bye for now. How many minutes?